Let's just get into the interview with Steve Cram, which was recorded as live at the Steve Cram Rutland training camp. Thanks for having us. So I want to start off with an extra special thank you to Steve Cram and Steve Cram Training Camp for welcoming Paula's Run Club to a special episode here where we get to quiz you a little bit, take some questions from the room and really explore the thinking behind the Steve Cram training camps because they've been going for a good while now. How long?
Yeah, everything that I do has been going for a good while. Well, that didn't take long, did it? Eh? That really didn't take long. I mean, you're going to rely on Tomo to bring it right down to the base level.
I've said nothing.
Straight away.
I mean, that's very sure of yourself. I mean,
if it's going to be like that, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
When it does what it says on the tin, as Steve Cram goes, he's there most of the time. I think I've been to all of them. Training camp. I mean, our lives are all wrapped up in running, and I just was getting asked all the time loads of questions, about how do I run a better 10K? Am I wearing the right shoes? Should I be more hydrated? Great questions, and you kind of thought, oh well, maybe if I got people together and we had a bit of fun over it, we could answer some of that and get some people like you guys along. And I'm a big believer that the guys here and people listening to this can learn a lot from our lives in running and what we've done, and without having to try to be an elite athlete. No one's asking you to be an elite athlete, but there are things that we all do or have done that I think can help a lot of people enjoy their running more. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the main thing. When we started to do them, though, they actually became a lot of fun. And the lovely thing about it is this community here. There's lots of people who've been before. There's some new people here, people listening to the podcast. There's an enjoyment about being part of a running community, which you probably sometimes forget. You forget how much fun you can have. So while we are here to have a great weekend, and they get to meet guys like you, they get to get inspired, they get to learn some things, but we try and have a lot of fun as well, and everybody can enjoy the weekend in the way that they want to and take away what they want to. So we love it. I love having you guys, and thank you for coming again.
Thanks.
It's
nice to come and run around. But we'll clarify where we are. So we're at Rutland for this one. You do one up in Kielder Forest as well.
Yeah, we've Rutland Water is. So you want somewhere where we can run, obviously, preferably without being in the middle of the city centre, and we don't want to lose anybody. And
have you ever lost anyone?
Apart from you, probably not. We did. We on one of the early camps at Kielder. Actually, we did lose somebody. Oh man, was anybody on that camp who's here? Yes, it was. That's right. And we did a count and thought everyone was back, and then went, oh my word, we're one short. And it was a husband who came to us and said, I don't know where my wife is. And we were like, oh my word, and we went out looking in the forest. We spent a couple of hours. She was in a different group, which he didn't. She got bored of him, I think, and had changed groups. So he'd come to us and said, she's missing. And we went, oh, honestly, that's just brought back bad memories. Anyway, so apart from that one, we haven't really lost anybody. So no, it's about having an environment where we can enjoy our running, because that's part of what running is about. What you're running in somewhere, places you've never been before, doing some things you haven't done before. And look, it's November, right? It's been 24 degrees here. The sun's been shining. Sunstroke's been a problem, to be fair.
And the trails are really dry as well. That when I went out to run on them.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been a bit wet and windy, but
it adds to the fun a little bit, doesn't it? And I know you have a big part of it is usually the fartlek session.
Yeah.
So the guys have done that today, right?
They did a kind of a slightly broken tempo session this morning. We've done fartlek and Laura's here watching. Laura Muir's here. Laura was doing a fartlek session while these guys were doing their kind of broken tempo, and we ended up with a little bit of a sprint relay as well. And we only had, where are you? We only had one pulled hamstring. He's in the physio room next door, actually. We try and get people to do things that perhaps they don't do normally in their training. and they've just had a very good session with Tomo.
Yeah,
and
that
with Becky
was,
Lynn.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
And Charlie, one of the physios. It looked good fun. I was.
Did you want to do it?
Well, I did, but I was. There was a member of staff, and I were watching because what were you doing? Throwing things at the light.
Do you know what? In our defence, I said, and Josie, like your daughter, we were there. I said, let's bring it together. From the last group, we realised that we hit the chandelier. We should probably...
You should explain you were doing a kind of an indoor...
Well, oh, yeah, to the people on the... Yeah, sorry, I forget that. I forget these people did it. But yeah, we were round in a circle, standing on one feet, throwing the ball to each other, practicing balance. But the balls obviously were flying because the circle was quite big. I thought, bring everyone together because we don't want to break things. Joe said, no, it's more exciting when you spread out and just let the ball fly. And there was a couple of chandeliers that got hit. Yeah. But we're okay. I think your insurance cover. You've got insurance, haven't you?
It probably doesn't.
And you're not coming back here, are you?
Balls at the chandeliers, but yes. Anyway,
we're runners. We're runners.
But it was lovely to see. So it's that. When of most of these folks, I've never done any. And I mean, you had them in bare feet and their toes were. I don't know what you were doing, to be fair, but it looked good. And that's the sort of thing. It's just things that people wouldn't normally get.
And it's adding to that community, isn't
it? It is. But at one point, I will say, and again, so and it was meant because that picture, obviously with you with that running action on that and on the board, Becky did use it as it mentioned that's the reason we're doing these exercises because we could see in a perfect example for you what you weren't doing right, which is your toe was floppy. And where is Becky? Yeah. She was looking for someone with a poison. Oh, look, Steve's demonstrating perfectly what we do.
Terrible.
And I was like, oh, wow. So thank you for that. Did
you not do ballet when you were
Can I tell you a quick little story? Well, that's a great question, Paul. Did I not do ballet as a kid? No, but I'm going to tell you a quick story. For all the listeners, viewers, Lord Snowdon was a very famous photographer. And when I was at the height of my, I got asked a couple of times, and I did the second time I went to have my picture taken with him. We were meant to be going out in Richmond Park and running amongst the deer and all that. Yeah. We did do that, but when we got back in his studio, I was at, I don't know, I have a horrible habit if I'm standing waiting for something of putting one foot on top of the other. I used to do it a lot, and I hadn't realised I was doing it. And he went, "What you do?" I was, "Oh, it's just the way I stand." He went, "Hold on a minute." Anyway, he made me take my shoes off, whatever. I'm going to make this very short. And I stood in bare feet, but I had one foot in front of the other. And he made me kind of put my hands down across my ankles as well. So it was kind of a fingers and toes picture, yeah? And he had a book of stills, which was a big, a kind of one of those coffee table books. And it went in there. But the Sunday Times, I think it was the Sunday Times or the Times, took it. And they put it on their back page to kind of promote the book. I don't know why they picked my picture of my feet, but they literally had gone to experts to say, who do these feet belong to? And the people they asked, the number one answer was a guy called Wayne Sleep, who's a ballet dancer. Remember, some people here would have heard of Wayne Sleep, because I have beautiful feet.
Which is unusual for a runner.
It's unusual for a runner. So there you go, Becky. My feet have been forward. And that picture, signed by Lord Snowdon, is in my bathroom downstairs.
I've seen it. It's a very good
downstairs
picture.
loo.
But what she is saying is that you could have maybe run 5 seconds quicker if you'd done that right.
There are loads of things I could have done to make me run 5 seconds quicker. Pointing my toes might have been one of the least important ones, but one of the things we talk about here, as you know, is what are the little things that people can do. So we definitely appreciate Becky and Tomo throwing balls at the chandeliers and
doing hoop games. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the thing about this. I mean, I came last year and this year, and it's great to be part from our point of view as well, because it is such a lovely community with all of you and seeing familiar faces. And the structure of it is, there's a lot there, but there's a lot for us to all kind of learn from. I think the big one is learning from each other as well. So it's not just us talking to you guys, you're talking within yourselves about how you do things and the different run clubs you have. Before we get into questions, I was going to ask you, what's your kind of favourite thing about these weekends? Is there something? Is there a moment where you kind of go, "This is why I do all this"?
Do you know what I think? Without sort of there are people in this room and the people we've had on the camps who they probably don't realise how they inspire us, me. They've got personal stories that are just, nothing that we've ever had to. We're elite athletes, very lucky that running's been what it is to us. Running for a lot of people out there has been something which might have completely changed their lives in terms of how they approach what they do. It may have got them through really difficult periods in their lives. Because of the community aspect of it, I think. They've met people on camp who've helped them when they go away from the weekend. And that's the thing which I've loved about it. This isn't really about teaching all these people to run a better 10K or a better half marathon. If we do that, brilliant. But it's been people's stories that have really kind of made us kind of, when we drive home back to Northumberland on Sunday night, it's kind of, oh my God, and that's and maybe people here don't kind of appreciate that we get as inspired by it, because we can get in a bit of a bubble, we can get a bit locked into our world and what that is, and if you'd said to me, for instance, when I was, I don't know, even 20, which was a couple of years ago, and I thought there was a Great North Run first year 1981, London Marathon first year 1981. And I was like, oh my God, look at this. Look at all these people. The year you were what? Sorry, born. Okay. Oh, that makes me ill. Right. So, and I was kind of excited about. I felt as though I was doing something. I knew I was being an elite runner, but the people weren't running around the streets. You ran for your club and whatever. Yeah. And all of a sudden, but now, I mean that seemed like a pivotal moment in terms of the world of running. Certainly, watching thousands of people do a half marathon or a marathon. But now, when you see all of these guys here and everybody who's involved in it, it genuinely warms my heart. It's something which I cannot believe that so many people, literally millions of people, are enjoying what we've all enjoyed.
Because you said something on an earlier episode, on the episode we did with you earlier about, I forget the exact way you described it, but it's something like the anticipation of the start line with the euphoria of the finish. It was something like that. And I saw London Marathon do a post the other day where it was the finish line of athletes coming through, and they had describing words above all these people, and it was like euphoria. Did you see that post?
No, I can imagine.
It was like
one of the most emotional places.
Yeah, and it was just the finish, and it was just all these words describing how people were feeling, and it's a lot of what you talked about, and we've tried to convey of that personal journey and that last kind of stretch. It's hard to describe, and it's so personal, but you all are sharing it at the same time. I don't think there's anything like it.
I was just going to say that there isn't anything comparable in the world of. We'll call it the world of sport, where I suppose theoretically you could go and have a game of golf with Rory McIlroy, couldn't you? You could stand on the tee. No, I haven't. I've had a game of golf with other. I'm not very good at golf. Okay. But theoretically you could. One of the nice things about golf is theoretically you stand on the first tee together. You're not going to see each other again till the night 18th hole, but you know what I mean. Whereas you genuinely stand on the start line at the Great North Run or London Marathon or whichever one it is with Paula or you or Eliud Kipchoge or whoever it might be, and although the result is a bit different, the process of, as you said, how am I going to go today? Do I have a plan? Can I stick to the plan? Dealing with the plan not going as you thought it might do during the event. Drawing on your training, the people around you, the atmosphere, whatever, to get you to the non-negotiable finish line. I.e., what I mean by that is, the measure of it is not how fast you've done it, and even for you guys, it was to some extent, but it was about.
It's also about the journey.
It is, and that to me is such a great thing that you can share with people. So even though you're running it in under, I nearly said under 2 hours, and a couple of hours, and you and someone else might be taking 6 hours or whatever. But a lot of that process is the same. I mean, I used to say in track, people say, what's you break a world record. So breaking a world record in a mile race, it's 4 laps of the track, or 1,500 3 3/4 laps. That process is no different to when I was 15, standing on the start line, going, I wonder how it's going to go today. Other guys in the race, setting off at a pace which I have decided, with a goal which I'm kind of after, and it might be at that occasion to win the Durham Schools Championships, or to run under 4 minutes for the first time for 1,500 meters, whatever it might be. And you do all that, and then all that happens is you get better and better, and the context just changes. And when you're standing on the start line one day in Oslo or Zurich or Nice or wherever it might be, going, right, today I'm going to try and run faster than I've ever run before, is the same as when I was 15. It's changed a bit.
Yeah.
And the next time I run a bit faster than I've run before, it's a record or whatever. So, and it's the same for people out running. Everybody runs for all their different reasons, but what you get back from it is very similar to what we get.
But it does change through your career. So the reason that you run
mainly
now,
when you get slower.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason that you're going out for a run now is not to run faster.
Certainly not.
No, so that's what I mean. That kind of what you get back from it grows and changes.
Which is why I think I have a lot more kind of empathy with the guys in the room and people listening, because I'm 47 now, and so you're not going to get faster. You're not going to. The fact that I can run every other day, and I can go and run, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever, often hopefully in places I can switch off, and it's giving me an awful lot that I probably wouldn't have appreciated 20 years ago when I was 27.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We do.
Should we, rather than hogging Steve, should we get some of these questions from the audience to go? Because it's kind of relevant, actually, the first question that I did pick for you, Steve, that I thought, and it fits nicely to what you're talking about. How and when and where did you feel you were destined to be an international athlete? Destined?
Oh, wow. I don't know if I ever felt I was destined. I think the big thing was when I was 16, I knocked 20 seconds off my personal best for 1,500 in one race.
Blimey.
So I kind of contextualised that a little bit. The year before, I'd sort of concentrated on 3,000 metres. And here's a one for you. I wasn't the best in County Durham when I was 15. And because there was a lad called Adrian Martin who was better than me and was going to go to the English schools and win, probably, I wanted to Durham were going to take one in each race.
Oh, really?
And I thought, I can't beat him, so I ran the 3,000. So the year before, and I finished 5th, I think, at the English schools. So I'd concentrated. So my personal best was 4.7.
Right.
Yeah, I know. You see, look at the disdain in his face there when I said that.
Do you know, I was trying to work it out. I was trying to work it out in my head.
Not great. 50, yeah. So then the next season, I did 2 things. One is I think, and it's an interesting question, because I know that was the winter that I asked why the athletics club, which had been going since 1932, and met on a Tuesday and a Thursday and a Sunday, and we raced on a Saturday. And my coach Jimmy had said, if you train harder, Bonnie lad, you'll get better. And I went to him, I think, in about the September of that year when I was fit, and said, why are we not meeting on a Monday and Wednesday then? Why is the athletic club only open? If I need to train more, can we please open on a Monday and Wednesday? Oh, wow. So that winter, I upped what I was doing. First race, May 19-something, and I ran 3:47, which was a British record for a 16-year-old. So I went from being one of the good lads.
Because 4.7 is still... It is still at
and then I ran
level
3:47.
A 15-year-old boy, but
I think probably the year before I was more worth 4 minutes or but I just didn't run many 15s. So the answer to your question is, that day I walked off the track thinking, I've just done something that no other British 16-year-old has ever done. So that flips your mindset into, I might be a bit better than most of the folks. But I was already upping my training because I wanted that sort of result.
I need to double check myself, because there's, from memory, there's only, it might have changed recently, but there was only one person that ran quicker than you as a 16-year-old for 15. Not at that point, in terms of up to
at
about a
that
couple
point,
of years.
yeah, it was the best. Then a few years later, what's his name?
Jacob Ingebrigtsen.
No, he certainly has. No, there was another British lad who a few years later ran a better 16. What? You? It wasn't you.
It was.
Before you, then.
No. After the only reason I say it is because I don't know.
I remember his name
I came out of the blue when I was 16. I did like a 3:47. It was only the splits, but the point, obviously, I only ran about 6 seconds quicker. I was never a 15 guy, and I don't know where it came from. But it was like, that's why I always, like, when you started saying it, I thought, oh yeah, that's my one claim to fame.
There was a lad. Yeah, you're right. By the time you came around, which was years later, I think I dropped down the list a little bit. But yeah, it's funny though, because it's an affirmation.
Yeah.
I trained harder. I got into a much more kind of proper routine and everything. And although I'd been good before, I suddenly became very good.
Because it's funny, like I know there's lots of questions, but it makes me want to ask you loads more about it. Is because you mentioned something there that makes me think about something that I was missing in my career. Was there's a precociousness there to think about wanting to do more, and you can have talent, but even at 15, 16, you can see athletes kind of separate themselves of thinking about what more can I do, and I never did. Even like it took me a long time to even process that, and that's my bad. But do you think your talent and precociousness and all those things all contributed to?
I had no idea what a competitive so-and-so was.
Yeah.
I played football very well. You're meant to laugh at that bit. See how they all just took that as...
Yeah, as verbatim.
I mean, without getting into... Because I know we want to get through some things, but you know, my uncle was a professional footballer. I wanted to play for Sunderland, and I'd kept playing football till I was about 14. So one of the reasons I wasn't training, I hadn't really got that focus. I gave up football at 14, and then started... And then I think one of the reasons was I realised this other sport that I was doing, the running, I was doing cross country and track, was, wow, this is about me.
Yeah.
And it's quite, you have to be careful what I say about this, but we are all quite selfish people. You become selfish, because, and I don't mean that in terms of the rest of you, but you, to become an elite athlete, you take people on a journey with you, and that's family, friends, close family, and you can be so locked into what you want to do that you can sometimes forget. And most of them will come on the journey with you because they want to support you and want you to achieve and what you want to achieve. But that for me started at quite an early age. That I got very kind of, and my coach Jimmy was a brilliant guy. He was incredibly inspiring. He was brilliant with young people, worked in the shipyards, and he had a lot of experience stuff. And he just kept saying to me, because he knew how good I was or could be, but he just was keen. I think the first couple of times I didn't come to the club because of Top the Pops and he was like, because they're 14, 15, 16, it's where people can wave, and he was very keen that he kept. And then when the penny dropped with me, it then became the other way. It then became me driving it. And that happened probably, I think, a lot earlier than it does with, or maybe it does with others. So it happened to me when I was about 15.
So just because I think that there probably will be kind of young lads 15, 16 now listening to this and really inspired by those differences. And one of them was Jimmy. And I think having the coach that inspires you is huge, having the family that backs you up. Also, the training group is important, isn't it?
Yeah, and we had a good bunch of lads, and the club, Jarron Hebden Athletic Club, it was like a youth club to me from the age of 12 to 17, 18. And even in years later, I was traveling the world, running all over the place and in the Worlds and Olympics and all the rest of it. But when I was back at club night, I mean, sometimes journalists would come to kind of, let's do a bit of insight and find out what you're up to. And they were always amazed that before we went training, even before a track night, we all had a game of football, the whole club. 9, 10-year-olds up to the vets, me and a game of football on the grass, kind of as a warm-up. But sometimes it was a bit, it got Jimmy was going, okay. And it never ever lost that for me. It was a youth club when I was a kid, but it always was a place until the day I kind of retired. it was just a lovely place to go when I was at home 2-3 times a week.
Which I think is just because it just takes us back again to the fun. And it is about having fun with what you're doing, no matter what level you're doing it at.
Well, Mo used
We've done
football.
one question.
I know.
I was
going to say, Mo used football as a warm-up for races till he was in his 20s.
Yeah.
I'd see him knocking around playing. It's like, but again, he kept it fun. But it, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, do you want to do?
Shall I do one of these? So these are questions from the audience. Thank you. First one, I haven't got a name on it, but the last 2 marathons I have burnt out at around about mile 16. My training has been by plan. My nutrition has been relatively good, not the best. It seems I don't have endurance. I could do the distance before. Any advice?
What was the question?
I think the question is why.
No, I'm trying to get
the
the specifics
I
of
know.
it.
I think it's why are they burning out at mile 16 when they're doing the training by plan? What you don't mention is how much in distance.
Without
you're
knowing
doing
what the
in
plan
training.
is, it's quite hard to answer that. Yeah, I think, I mean, you two are the better marathon runners from a non-marathon running perspective and a little bit of a coaching perspective.
So you do have the coaching experience.
It's really important that you feed back wherever you're getting your plan from. And I know a lot of people get online plans and the rest of it. That's quite difficult if you don't have that feedback. It's really important that feedback happens, because if you're running out of gas at mile 16, yes, and I think you said they're taking care of nutrition or not, maybe,
nutrition's good, maybe not the best.
Okay,
again, it's working with gels and
yeah,
like
exactly.
that,
but that should be part of the plan.
Yeah.
So that needs there's something not quite right in the plan there, because if the plan is working, look, it's very simple. These guys will tell you if you haven't kind of prepared, the marathon will come and bite you in the backside. And usually somewhere around between mile 16 and mile 20.
I mean, miles 16 to 20 is where it's going to start to bite, isn't it? So there's probably 3 things. It's the nutrition, it's the training in the long runs, and it's going off too fast.
Yeah, that was going to be the last one.
So it's the plan. The plan, either the training plan or the race plan. Between the two of them, there's probably something that needs tweaked, and that's where you need good feedback. And instead of kind of going, it's me, it's probably not you. And it's just a case of just needing to have a little look at what, where the plan was missing.
Do you know of any like training camps that people can come on and learn about this stuff? I don't know. Just thinking.
Well, there's a couple of people here that could ask.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question is, I'm interested if you did have this. Did you used to have any race day superstitions?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I had an interesting one. I was on a youth camp.
That's a really uninteresting answer, isn't it?
No, that's why I skirted out. Do you see the way I just moved on and went, I'll bring in a...
Yeah.
Did you?
Do I want to share mine? I'll tell this other. So I was on a youth camp that you obviously know about a couple of weeks ago, and a story cropped up was a young lad who, his superstition, he'd got some golden spikes from Hong Kong, where his dad works. And before every race, he makes certain he puts these 2 golden spikes at the front of his, whether it's track spikes or cross-country spikes, and that's his superstition to always race with them. I do think if you forget them, you might kind of panic.
Or if they're little and it's a muddy cross-country, you might regret that.
I don't know if I didn't ask the question if he had different sizes, but he puts them on the front, 2 golden spikes at the front, and I thought, oh, that's quite cool, that. But yeah.
What was yours?
So the next question was... Oh, God. Right, so... Like, I thought, did I say this to you?
There's a difference, by the way, between, just to clarify before you answer this, because I'm just wondering where you're going to go. There's a difference between a superstition and a routine.
Yeah, so it's not...
Some people get the 2 things mixed up.
Yeah, no, this is true. And again, that spikes probably isn't... It's not... Yeah, so it probably is more routine than superstition, yeah, for sure. Because I'm not like...
Put your T-shirt on backwards.
No... So, and again, it goes back...
Could we all have a guess?
If you want, you can do. So it's linked to, like, the Steve Peters episode. Because if you remember, if anyone watched that, do you know what I'm talking about?
You do something in the mirror.
That's right. Let me expand. Don't leave it there. Stand in front of the mirror. So I have said it to people. So when I when I was young, long story short, I had an experience where I got really overwhelmed in a race, and it was because when you're getting into running, you are comparing yourself to that pool of people in front of you, whether that's at school, then districts, and so on and so forth. And I finally found myself in a situation where I was at European Championships and favourite to win in an international competition. But the difficulty with that, you're flying somewhere and you have no idea these kids, and it's quite overwhelming. And I got so overwhelmed and I cried on the start line. It just threw me, and I disappeared for 6 weeks. And when I came back to the sport, I said to myself, I can't ever let that happen again. And one of the things that came about was before a race, I would... It sounds silly, but it worked. But I would go before I get ready, get all my stuff on, go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and basically say to myself, you're a dick, no one cares. Just get on with it. Basically just swear at myself. And the reason, it sounds like it's belittling, but the reason, and again, I didn't quite understand, but I always felt more relaxed when I did it. And then when I left the hotel room, I just felt a little bit more up for it. So it kind of, when I did it, I was like, well, I'm not belittling myself. I'm just calming myself down. And it wasn't till the Steve Peters episode where I finally clocked what I was doing. And it was basically, I was effectively reducing the stress through belittling the challenge in a way, but you're still being respectful. And you'd have to listen to the episode because he explained it really well.
He was saying that it's sport at the end of the day. It's not life and death.
It's not
so go out and just give it your best shot, and that's all you can do. All you can do is walk off and say you
exactly.
Give it your best shot.
But it inadvertently made me more prepared, and so I won't go into all the things of what I've called myself over the years. I'm trying to sort of damper it down, but it was just something I did that kind of
funny,
it seemed more embarrassing than it. But
we all do these little tricks often. As you rise up. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't get into it for, you didn't understand. You start, I just want to run quicker, I just want to, then the competitive bit, I want to win, I want to get better, and it's great. And then all of a sudden, it starts to get more difficult for whatever reason. You go up a level, you get on a plane, go somewhere, and you really find out about yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to find coping mechanisms for that. Now, you all here will have various different little things around that, because whenever you want to do something you've never done before, or you're into an environment which is a bit strange and we all have to find a way to make that work. And there was a period where, you guys know, back in the 80s, the sport was crazy, and from 17, 18, I was used to being in all newspapers and all the rest of it, and then you start to get better and expectation, and I got to one point, and I was like, wow, I was struggling to separate my goals with knowing and understanding there was literally millions of people watching, and and I remember Brent saying to me, "Oh, get over yourself." And he was like, "What you need to remember," he said, "is whatever it is, millions of people tuning in to watch your race, and then when it's finished, they all go, right, do you want a cup of tea?" Or what's on the telly next? Or do you want to switch it over? Or and it's the thing about the headlines. It's tomorrow's fish and chip paper, as we used to say. And that was actually a really good thing for me to do. Exactly what Paula said there is you just bring it back to yourself and stop worrying about what other people think, because that's part of what yours was as well.
Yeah, no, it was in a slightly.
And when you bring it down
way.
yourself, in whichever way that you find best to do that. And you can focus on what you want, what you need, what you're happy with or not happy with, it becomes much easier. It's the external noise that often gets in the way for all of us of trying to find our way through new, tricky situations.
Well, it's like it's like that that thing about when you walk into a room of people in a party situation and you're paranoid about what everyone else is thinking, but everyone is thinking the same thing. And actually the reality is you bring it back to you, that it's, you actually are all sharing this common theme, and it's not actually all eyes on you. Yeah. It's not in the way that you imagine it. It's not a perfect example, but I'm trying to just explain how we can all feel like there's all this eyes and all this pressure coming on you, and actually the reality is actually far from it. It's actually very much the other way.
I sometimes say, you know, we've all lucky enough to have had kids. You know, when you have little, you know, babies and things, you're travelling, for instance, or you're in a public situation, and your baby starts crying, and you get so stressed, and probably people, you know, because people are looking at you, oh, poor reckless baby. You think that, don't you? And actually, like on an aeroplane or something, and I realised that, you know, we all fly loads. They're not looking at you, really. It's a baby crying. And everyone just goes, it's a baby crying. You know, there's no... Whereas when it's your baby that's crying, you think, oh, my God, the whole world's looking. You know, will you shut up? You know, you get very stressed, don't you? You know, which doesn't help. It's that sort of thing where what is happening that you think is massive in other people's eyes usually isn't. And you need to bring it back down to your world, your scenario. Hey, that's getting a bit deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's good.
For one more question.
2
more questions.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to give short
About
answers.
lucky
Come on.
pins. Is that superstition?
The what?
The lucky pins.
Well, they're not lucky, are they? Are they
You're
lucky?
I believe they were, so doesn't that make it a superstition?
When did they stop becoming lucky?
I don't know, Raf's still using them.
Oh, you've passed it on.
Yeah.
You've passed on the...
Yeah.
Are they not a bit rusty?
They are a bit rusty.
Yeah. Okay.
Is your number 17, that's more that's sort of...
See, that's a superstition.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, we haven't got time for a 17 story. Everyone's heard that already, though, right? No. So I make it really quick. My grandma was born on the 17th of December, 1917, and she only weighed 3.5 pounds and wasn't expected to survive, and she lived to 95. And then she got married on the 17th of September. My dad was born on the 17th of Feb. My aunt was born on the 17th of June. And I was our first grandchild. And I was born on her birthday on the 17th of December. And then Isla, my daughter, was born on the 17th of January, 07. So 1717. So that all came together. But then because I raced for Bedford, and Bedford is second in the alphabet, when you go to English schools, they allocate 16 numbers for Avon. And then Bedfordshire gets the next one starting at 17. So if I was the first one, I always had number 17. So she used to say that was fine. But the best bit was Chicago when I set the world record, because when I crossed the line, it was 2 hours, 17:17. And so I called my grandma, and she picked up, and I said, Grandma, guess what time I ran? She went, 17 minutes. It's a marathon. It starts with 2 hours. Yeah, she was right.
I had...
And then Thomas, sorry, I forgot that bit.
Don't ruin the story. I was going to say, I got interviewed to whether I could be the partner in crime. She goes, what's your birthday? 17th of April, you're in. That's true, I am 17th, so yeah.
Right,
you're
next
yours.
question. Everyone talks about slow runs, but how slow is slow? I keep getting told 80% should be slow and 20% should be fast. I feel I'm running too slow to improve my speed. I think this is one for the coach, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah. So this is the 80-20 theory. Yeah. Well, first of all, a slow run is obviously it's personal as to what you do. So if you're going for a slow, usually that would tend to be people's longer runs or whatever, then it's for a reason. One is if it's a long run, you probably don't want to be running too fast for too long. If it's a slow run because it's a recovery run, there's also good reasons to do that as well. And if you're doing a slow run, it should be at a pace where you should be very easily able to carry on a conversation, have a chat. You're not putting yourself under any real physical stress as such. You're just running, okay? So a slow run involves no thinking effort, no real, I mean, all running requires some physical effort, but you get the kind of drift. Should you be doing 80% of your runs like that? I don't think so.
No.
So I think that for all of us, doesn't matter where you're at, what there's a whole range of different types of running you can do. It's one of the things we try to teach you on the camp here. And I think the problem is for a lot of people, we've asked this question so many times of people here, how much variation have in your running pace? And the answer usually is not very much. They'll do most of their runs often at roughly the same pace. And in order to get quicker, and I always use this just as a quick little thing, if you want to run a quicker marathon, you need to run a quicker half marathon. If you want to run a quicker half, you need to run a quicker 10. You want to run a quicker 10, you get where I'm going here. You need to run a quicker 5. And if you want to run a quicker 5, how fast can you run a mile? And by the way, that then means how fast can you run 100 meters. And people don't really care. They think, I want to run the marathon. Why should I care about how fast I run 100 meters? Because it all feeds back up the line. So, and there's loads of things about that, about strength and you know, if you want to run 5 seconds a kilometer quicker for 10K, you know, that's not a lot. Think about it. All right. So for every 100 meters, you only have to run half a second quicker over that 100 meters, and then you're going to get But how do you do that? How do you do that comfortably? So yes, I mean, I think 80-20 is I'm not even sure where that came from or who invented it or whatever. But my view would be you need a lot of varied paced running in your training. Mm-hmm. And people here, I've kind of put this out to them before. I always go, how much time can you offer? If I'm going to offer you some training advice, how many times do you run? And I always, you know, I go on a 10-day cycle, not because everyone goes a week. And I go, well, a week's only got 7 days in it. And if you're only going to run 3 or 4 times or 2 or 3 times a week, then it's not easy to add all the different elements. Whereas if you stretch it out, mm-hmm. and we can fit 4 or 5 different running elements over 10, 12 days, much easier. So yes, varied pace running.
Yeah, and in answer to the question, so we don't think it should be 8% slow, but also how slow is slow. I'm kind of torn on that one as well, because sometimes if you're having to run so slow, you should maybe be having a rest day. And slow running that they're talking about really as a recovery is comfortable chatting while you're running, right?
Mm. Yeah.
That's the easy way to get, without going into specifics of heart rates or breathing rates, because we're going to bring on Jane in a little bit.
Yeah.
But
we used to have a thing when I was youngish at the running club, same sort of thing. And there was one lad, and I said, when we go out running, I says, you always go at the front and push it a bit. That happens in the club, right? But often it would be me deciding when to pick up the pace, whatever. And he said, oh, I can't be doing with these patter. For those who aren't from the northeast, that means a chat. So there's one lad, whenever this other guy turned up, he would always go at the front and get the pace going so nobody would talk. Because he'd go, I can't be doing with his patter. I was like, oh, okay, right, fair enough, yeah. Well, so just be careful who you go running with. If you're going to have a chat, get a good conversationalist with you.
Well, that explains why those runners would hold back and then go in a different direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, we've got a last quick one for you. Across your career, I think this is a good question. Across your career, what's the one thing you did religiously in training that you now think is a complete waste of time or a load of crap?
That's a good one.
That is a great question. Slow runs. Wow, I've never been asked that. That is a great question. I could be facetious about some of that. I don't know really. I mean, I would say that I did run. I got to a point where I ran quick a lot, and that was the problem. I used to think sometimes that slow running was I'm just killing time here. I'm just running. I'm just it's not making me any better. Yeah. I was always impatient.
Yeah.
And I used to go, oh, well, is this really going to make me... And I probably didn't understand the role that would have in recovery and all the rest of it. Is there anything I was doing that probably was a waste of time? I don't think so.
Coke can around?
Well, no, getting injured, that doesn't really count, though, does it? I don't... That is such a good question. I couldn't really pick apart... That would be the only thing. I said, what would I have done, differently? I think I probably.
But it's obviously the link. It's like that you believe so strongly at the time, because again, how things evolve in running, and now how you see athletes operate now is very different to 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So I guess it's what's around today that's, well, not around today that people did back in the 80s. That it was like, I don't know. Like even like a drill or anything that's now...
What's a drill?
Well, there you go.
No.
So you didn't do things like that? But
no, we did. I mean, I think there were things I would have... that I probably dismissed back then. I didn't dismiss them. I didn't understand enough about them. So I probably would have done more S&C, what we know... That term hadn't been invented back then. I thought they were getting a mistake because of my initials are SC. So I kept getting... I'm going, but yeah, S&C was a bit... I was like, strength conditioning, right, okay. So yeah, I think... so I didn't do it, but I don't know. It was such a good question, and I used to try and make sure that anything I was doing, I thought it was contributing. So I can't really think of anything that.
The problem is again for you, because you were so good, but not just so good. You've lasted the test of time with your performances. It's going to be hard because you obviously were doing a lot of things right.
But can I say getting injured? Because I kept getting injured.
Yeah.
But
do you know something you said to me?
I sort of did.
Do you know something that I remember now that you said to me once that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you regretted not doing was, I want to say you were 27, 28, and Brendan said,
have
a year off, and you didn't.
Yeah.
And is that, so would that be something?
Yeah, I was 29.
Okay.
28, 29. And bear in mind, I'd had 10, I went to Commonwealth Games when I was 17. So I'd had, it wasn't just all the training, it was 10 years of championship, chase. And after the Olympics in 88, where I was in good shape until 3 weeks before, and I pulled my calf in my last race in Rieti and went to the Olympics on one leg. But and I finished fourth in a race. 3 people ahead of me, who, with the exception of Peter Elliott, who would never normally. That was the one, the Peter Rono one. Anyway, whatever. And I went that winter, and Brent said, "Take a year off," and I wasn't brave enough. And I wish I had been. That's probably one of the biggest regrets, because I think that would have helped me prolong my career in a better way. I did keep going, but it was just from that point, it was just a gradual.
Needed the reset a little bit.
I did need that reset. My body needed a bit of recovery time. Mentally, I could have done with that recovery, and I just wasn't brave enough to sit around for that amount of time. I think when he said it to me, it was more, it's not to say you're going to stop running and stop training, but I couldn't get my head around the idea of running but not training.
Yeah.
Does that sound?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's where the advantage of being female, because you can just have a baby and then you kind of do the same thing. You take a year out, reset.
True.
Come back.
You make it sound so, just have a kid, yeah.
True.
But it's a reset, isn't it? You do still keep running, but not with the same intensity and not racing. And then when you come back, you're just really excited to be back racing again, which I think is what Bren was trying to reignite, was that excitement to get out.
The great thing is, since then, I've had lots of years off, and here I am still running. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it well picked up, because that probably is one of my single sort of regrets of. Advice I didn't take.
Yeah.
But it's not
that's another good.
to
no.
finish struggling to find a regret.
You did all right.
Yeah.
You did all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having
guys.
us here, and thank you for sharing the stories and inspiration. And now we're going to switch you out.
Yeah.
We'll do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that took me back a little bit. I like the interactive aspect of it, and it never gets old listening to kind of him talk about how things have changed, but at the same time, it's still running, it's still racing, and the same things really do still hold true. So that was a really fun interview to listen to as we were recording, and to listen back again now.
Yeah, I think that we had a lot of fun doing it, and that was one of the things we came away going, if you're having fun in the moment, hopefully the audience will enjoy. But I did enjoy him getting stumped on that last question, because you could almost go, no, I was perfect, but not quite literally like that. But in his head, when you go into that, well, what was crap about? Oh, excuse me, I shouldn't. What was not great about what I did? I think
we'll allow you to do.
Thank you very much. It's always that sort of line of it. Is it a swear word or not? But it's definitely it's interesting that I feel like for the most part he's quite at ease with what he did in his career. I know there'll be things that he maybe didn't quite get, but ultimately he's kind of in a place of he looks back with more fondness than anything is the main thing.
Yeah, which I think is a good place to get to, isn't it? And I think that's maybe one of the things that helped him to be as successful as he is. He obviously makes mistakes, but he tries to learn from those mistakes and to move on from them. And another part of it, him struggling there, is probably also that I think he very much lives through the mindset of don't live with regrets, because you can't go back and do it. He's very practical, so you can't go back and do anything about it. So let's learn what you can do and move on from that, which I think is something that we can all learn from and put it into daily life and daily practice. And there were many of those little things there. He is wrong sometimes, though. I can remember once I came out here and he was map reading and he got it wrong. And the kid said to me, "Wow, Steve got the directions wrong," because it doesn't happen very often.
Well, I'm sure everyone's very pleased to hear that. But thank you to everyone who was there, and shout out to everyone. It's great to see you all again, and hopefully we can do it all again soon. And thank you for listening, being there live, because I think we loved answering the questions, and we did answer questions we didn't get to on the pod. We did do afterwards on the round table and on the evening, and by the way, just to let you know, I can tell you officially now, because you went to bed before the quiz results got read out.
Oh, no, I didn't. I was still at the back of the room.
Oh, did you hover at the... Oh, I thought you'd just gone, so you saw how badly we did.
Oh, well, I'm not sure we were that badly, considering... So we were in a team, for clarification, me, Tomo and Laura Muir. And given that strictly anagrams, when we've probably not really watched it, any of us, we were never going to get any points on that one, were we?
No, we struggled with that. We struggled with the music. We struggled... The only thing we were confident with was like... the marathon
the winning
times.
margin. Yeah,
the minimum up, because you were commentating on it. But anyway, it was good fun anyway. But
it was. And so moving on to the honours board, which is of course sponsored by High Five. Thank you very much for all of their support, and please don't forget that you can always go to highfive.co.uk and use the discount code Paula25 to get 25% off all of the High Five goodies to keep you hydrated, as Tomo is doing, and to keep your energy levels topped up. And we were trying those out at the training camp as well. So the first one that I'm actually going to add on to the honours board is still on one of the little cards that we asked them to fill in for the podcast there. And it comes in from Ali Lamb, and she wants to nominate her dad, Graham, to go on the honours board for his work with all the middle distance runners, coaching them in Burton Athletics Club. So thank you, Graham, for all that you do, and you are on the honours board.
Very nice. We'll have you got an email address on there to reach out to them? We go through Al.
We will have to go through the magical Al at Steve Cram Training Camp to sort that out.
The hidden gem of Al that makes everything work behind this. The amount of times Steve's trying to do something and Al has to fix it is quite incredible. It's like...
That's what I'm saying. He's not the most technologically up there,
exactly.
But Al does it for him.
Okay, so... Next in line was Lauren's. Shall I do Lauren's next? Yeah. Hi, Paul and Chris. Love the podcast. I'd like to nominate my mum, Marisa, for the honours board.
Yeah.
Marisa. Sorry. This next one comes in from Lauren's, who would like to nominate her mum, Maricia, for the honours board. She's 60 today. So this was sent last month, so apologies. We are trying to get through these as quick as we can. She's 60 and she ran her first marathon at Abington Marathon on Sunday, finishing in a time of 4 hours and 31 seconds. Wow, an incredible achievement based on a lot of hard work. She's already talking about the next one, of course, and trying to go for the sub 4, which I'm sure she'll manage, and I'm sure she will. So she writes, happy birthday, mum, congratulations, 60 with a 4 hours 31. Lots
Amazing.
of High Five goodies. Hopefully those goodies will get you over the line to that sub 4. Please let us know how you do, and well done, Mauricia, and thank you, Lawrence, for sending that in. Fantastic.
Yeah, happy belated birthday, and look forward to everything that you're going to achieve in your 60th year. Congratulations. And this one comes in from Guy. And Guy says, dear Paula and Chris, your podcast leading up to the London Marathon was brilliant and got me through a very warm and tough London Marathon. Well done. This inspired me to encourage my GP practice team to put in a corporate team entry for this year's Great Scottish Run. This was about being inclusive. We had all ages, and some who had never run 10K before and some who were pregnant. It was a fantastic day, and we came 13th out of 26th. 13th out of 26 teams in the corporate rankings, beating some big teams. We are a GP practice with around 30 staff and 15 of us signed up to run. We wanted to encourage our patients to be more physically active and to show these events are mostly all about taking part. So congratulations to everybody at the practice team. I should have been able to actually see if it said the name of the practice there. Let me click on that link.
I assume it would be a Scottish.
He has put the link on, so I'm just quickly going to scroll through. It is the staff from Denbridge Medical Practice in Glasgow. So congratulations to all of you. I don't know if we can fit you all on the honours board, but we will be sending out some high five goodies to the practice there for you to use and stay hydrated, and talk, of course, to the patients about the importance of being hydrated while you are being physically active as well. But setting a great example there, the team at Denbridge. So congratulations to you. And please remember, you can nominate anyone for the honours board. You need to, of course, email in to Paula's Run Club at momentumbroadcast.co.uk, or you can get in touch on socials, or you can get in touch via the WhatsApp number,
Which you've memorised now after 9 months.
I haven't memorised it. I usually have it. Here we go. I do have it written down somewhere. You can, of course, get in touch by the WhatsApp number. That is +44 7564 747 914. And by the next time, Tomo will have it memorised.
Yeah, sure.